Good morning, you guys. It's your girl Bree. I come with a quick little message to you guys this morning. On this morning, I come to encourage someone that no matter what setback has took place in your life, no matter what has come up against you, that none of those things didn't take you out. None of those things didn't break you. You still kept pushing forward with all the stuff you was carrying on your back. You was thrown with unnecessary burdens, unnecessary problems. You took on other people's problems. You took on other people's burdens. You made them your burdens. And you still overcame all that. You still pressed your way forward. You still did the things that you needed to do. You still made a way out of no way. But when everything was piled up against you, when everything was thrown against you, you still made it happen. You still pushed forward. You still kept your faith when stuff all around you was crumbling, when you didn't know where you was going to get this from. You didn't know where you were going to get that from. You still pressed forward. You still kept moving on. You still kept going. You did not stop fighting. You kept fighting. You kept reaching. You kept teaching. You kept preaching. You just kept on moving. Even with all the odds stacked against you, you kept on moving because you knew something greater was here. You knew something greater was coming. So you kept moving, you kept pushing. You kept seeking. You kept seeking. You knew something. Everybody and everything seemed like that it was against you. But something inside of you kept you fighting. Something inside of you kept you pushing. Something inside of you kept you fighting a good fight. You didn't allow your circumstances or situation to get you down. You didn't allow this stuff to allow you to feel like you was less than, even though people tried to make you feel like you was less than, even though people tried to make you feel like you wasn't nothing. You didn't allow yourself to be nothing. You kept pushing forward. You didn't care about who wasn't helping you. You didn't care about who was not there supporting you. You just kept pushing. You just kept pushing, and you did just how God wanted you to do. You did the will of God. You fought the fight. God seen you got through those burdens. You got through those hurdles. Good morning. You got through those hurdles. You got through those center blocks. You got through these things. And that's why he is getting ready to reward you. Because your comeback, oh my God, your comeback created a monster inside of you. You heard me? You look, all those setbacks, all those obstacles, all those things that people threw in your way to distract you, to try to get you off of course, all that did is awaken the monster that was inside of you. And the monsters inside of you is out. And there's no stopping. There's not no going back. You cannot go back to what you came from, because now you didn't awaken to your true potential and to your true self and who you truly are. So now you are steady speaking, talking, walking, doing, investing, doing the things that you were here called to do because of your setbacks. See, every time people always get mad because they get setback. People always get mad because they get rejected. People always get mad because they get humiliated. People always get mad because they get talked about. People get mad because these people doing this and these people doing that to them. No. It's a good thing that the people did all this to you. It's a good thing because it awoken the monster inside of you. It awoken the beast inside of you. It allowed you to step in your power. It allowed you to be the true version of you. It allowed you to take over the things you needed to take over, to overcome the things that you needed to overcome. It allowed you to be who you were truly here to be. It allowed these things in your life, baby. So your setbacks, all them setbacks and setups they had planned from you, and all the destruction and the hate they had tried to do to you, and all the slander and all the rest of this stuff that they kept piling up on you, and had you feeling like you wasn't worthy, and had you feeling like you didn't know which way to go, and had you feeling like you was confused, and had you feeling like you couldn't overcome, and had all this right here, baby, you better praise God and thank God. Because guess what? Those people who tried to set you up, these people who tried to put hindering blocks in your way, these people who tried to, all they did was push the beast out of you. You heard me? They pushed the beast out of you, and you continue to push forward. You continue to fight. You continue to press. You continue to do the will of God. You continue to do whatever you needed to do. Some of y'all had bills piled up against you. I didn't even know if y'all was coming or going. You heard me? You didn't even know it was coming or going. Some of y'all couldn't even pay y'all bills. You heard me? Some of y'all was having so many problems with y'all children, problems in your marriage, problems on your job. You went to a job every day where people was discussing you behind your back, where people was hating on you, trying to get you out of there. But guess what? You kept pressing forward. You kept pressing forward because you knew something greater and better was coming. People kept trying to throw all kind of obstacles in your way. You falling out with family. You falling out with friends. You falling out with everybody. And you just kept pressing. That's all you could do. You kept pressing until you couldn't press anymore. People wanted you to be depressed. You heard me? People wanted you to be depressed. They wanted you to be in lack. They wanted you to be in poverty. They wanted you to be, all things was coming up against you. You had BS on your job, BS in your household, BS with your family, BS with your so-called friends, BS all over, but you still pressed forward. You still kept moving on. You didn't allow the enemy to get to you. You didn't allow the enemy to get the best of you. You gain your strength. You calm some strength you didn't even know you had inside of you, but you pick yourself up and you press yourself forward. And they don't understand why. They don't understand how. But God allowed you to go through those trials and those tribulations so that he can get you where you needed to be. Here and now, you are where you need to be. You're in the right position. That's why the blessings is overflowing on you right now, because you position yourself so that you can receive the blessings. See, when you was in a worry and a doubt and a lack mind frame and a poverty mind frame, you was receiving light blessings. But see, now in the mind frame that you're in the position that you didn't put yourself in now, you're receiving the big ultimate blessings. You heard me? The big huge blessings. The blessings that's blessing you and your children, generational blessings you're receiving. You're receiving enough blessings to help other people. And I'm not talking about just a financial blessing. You might be receiving financial blessings, but you're receiving blessings on knowledge, on wisdom. You're receiving this on life. You understand what I'm saying? People always looking at blessings. It's like it's always financial. Sometimes it is financial, but sometimes he add a couple of more years on your life. Sometimes he give you more wisdom. Sometimes he add more years on your children's life. He give your children wisdom and knowledge. He does these things. You know, he make a way out of no way. He gets you out that trap that the enemy thought that they had set up for you. He makes a way out of no way and work things out for you and on your behalf. Some of y'all, they really tried to get you wrapped up, tangled up, and tied up in circumstances and situations, and had people looking at you different, had people watching you to see if you was really this person, and then the people really seeing that you wasn't this person, and people really seeing that you mind your business and you stay to yourself and you do what you need to do as a parent, without no help needed. Some of these people wanted you to fall so bad, don't you go to saying, wanted you to lose your children, lose your house, lose the money you had. These people were trying to steal from you, set you up to be robbed. All kind of things these people tried to do to you. These people tried to do a lot of things to you, and they felt like they got away with it because you did not address it. You did not address it, but because you knew that God fights all your battles, and you knew that God would take care of it in his timing. You knew that. And so because you knew the things that God was going to do for you, that's why your comeback is so stronger than the setback you had. See, a lot of people was like laughing and talking at your setback. But now, here and now, you have your comeback, and they not understanding, okay? They're not understanding how. They're not understanding why. They're not understanding why you happy. They're not understanding why you standing on all 10. They're not understanding why you blessed. They're not understanding why you're anointed. They're not understanding why you still trying to reach people. They're not understanding why you still trying to teach people. They're not understanding why you are still happy, excited. They're not understanding why you still trying to make a way out of no way. Whenever they threw all these obstacles in your way, they did all these things to try to stop you. They rallied up people who don't even know you. You heard me? People that that you don't even know were doing things to you because of who you were. They were intimidated by your presence. They were intimidated by your name. They was intimidated by your character. So what they tried to do, they tried to assassinate your character. They tried to tear you down. They tried to do this and that. They tried to hurt you. They tried to mess up your household. They tried to do all these things to you because they were scared and intimidated of you. But your setback, you heard me, created the monster for your comeback. You heard me? So now you back. You back. You back with peace, joy, happiness, love. You back. Everything that the devil thought that he stole from you, he didn't steal from you. But he thought that you stole. He stole it. See, the devil really played his own people because he made his people think that you were going through. He made his people think that you were suffering. He made his people think that you were doing all this and that when you wasn't. You heard me? You were steady pressing forward. You were steady getting where you needed to get. You were steady going where you needed to go. And that is why your comeback is stronger, because they, no matter what they threw at you, all kind of stuff was coming. They couldn't stop you. They couldn't stop you. They couldn't move you. They couldn't do any of that. You just kept allowing yourself to push forward. You kept allowing yourself to be the best version of you. No matter what they said, you walk with your head held high and your chest out. And your toes is 10 flat to the ground. That's how you walk, and that's what you did. And because of your obedience, that is why you're getting blessed. Because of your obedience to God, because you stood on the promises that He had made you. Even when people was telling you other way, even when people was telling you other things, you still stood on His promises. You knew the promises that He had made to you, and you stood firm on the promises that He had made to you. And that's why your setback, it may have hurted you, but your comeback created the monster that's inside of you. You heard me? Your comeback awoken the monster that was inside of you. And that's what they not understanding. They not understanding that you're walking and you're talking and you're living in something that was already inside of you. This is not something that you picked up and you just learned. This is not a talent or something you just picked up and you learned. This was already inside of you. This was rooted inside of your DNA. And that's what they don't fail to realize. That's what they see you doing things and they think you picked up a hobby, you did something, but they're not understanding this been inside of you, because whatever inside of you is going to come out of you, whether it's good or bad, it's going to come out of you. And the stuff that you're doing, the words that you're saying, the stuff, this is you already studied to show thyself approval. So this stuff is in you, it's in your belly, so it's coming out. You heard me? Out the abundance of the heart, the mouth shall speak. All this stuff is in you. That's why it's coming out of you. That's why you can get up here with no worries. That's why you can get up and encourage somebody else. That's why you can speak life into somebody else when they're going through a troubling situation. That's why, because guess what? This stuff is all in you. You were equipped for this. You were equipped for this. You were equipped for this lifestyle. You was equipped to go through this pain. You was equipped to go through the persecution. You was equipped to go through all the rest of this stuff for His glory, for God's glory, for His mercy and His glory. You had to go through it, and you got through it, and you thanked Him for His mercy and His grace. You thanked Him for keeping you. You thank Him for blessing you. You thank you. Listen, some of us could have went crazy. Some of us had so much of stuff thrown at us that we could have went crazy. But God, you heard me? God had His hands on you. And when God has His hands on you, He has you wrapped up, tangled up, and tied up all in Him. God had His hands on us. You heard me? So we could not fail. We could not fail, but we had to come to recognize that we could not fail. We had to come to recognize that we were more than a conqueror. We had to come to recognize that God was making a way out of no way for us. We had to come to recognize that we was a chosen one. You heard me? Because our life, people have told us different things. People have tried to destroy us. People didn't want us to reach our full potential. Growing up as kids, your parents, when you was telling them this and you was telling them that, they told you to be quiet. They didn't want you to reach your full potential. They didn't want you to step in your power. So now you have stood in your power. Now it is time. It is time to take your rightful place on the throne, and you have took your rightful place on the throne. And there's nothing that nobody can do or say can stop you. You heard me? They're going to keep trying to form weapons against you. They're going to keep on trying to expose you. They're going to keep on trying to lie on you. They're going to keep on throwing out false accusations. They're going to keep on doing this stuff because they don't know better. When you know better, you do better. You got to know who to put your mouth on, how to put your mouth on them, and when to put your mouth on. You got to know that whatever you speak out on somebody else comes to you 100-fold. You got to know whatever you praying for somebody else downfall, baby, you got to know you got to dig a ditch for you and your family members and your children too when you try to mess with God's chosen one. See, they didn't know these things. They didn't know that messing with God's chosen ones, everything crumble around you, baby. People start to fly. You heard me? They didn't know it. People leaving. You heard me? Just as fast as a fly touching, you pop that fly, how fast that fly go down. That's just how they dropping. They didn't understand it. They still choose to decide to try to come up against God's chosen one, knowing that you were chosen. When people had warned them, they had seen that you were chosen, but they didn't care. They still insisted on trying to hurt and bring damage and pain to your life, trying to bring misery to your life, only for them to see that you are not miserable, only for them to see that you are happy, and only for them to be miserable, going through the storm. But the storm they wished upon you, trying to destroy you, trying to break you down, and now they're going through hell and high water, wishing they wouldn't have done these things to you. You see, I tell people all the time, every action, there's a reaction. You hear me? And how you react to something. See, a lot of us been waiting for God to get people back who hurt us. You heard me? We've been waiting for God to get people back who have hurt us, who destroyed us, who lied on us. We've been waiting on God. But what I found out yesterday is, if you keep living, them same people who try to hurt you, the same people who misjudge you, the same people who assassinated your character, they will see the wonderful works of God. They will see it within you. You heard me? They will see it if you just keep living, if you just keep pressing forward to what God has for you to do and where God has for you to go. If you would just keep doing these things, they will see. You heard me? If you would just live your life like it's your last. Unashamed and unapologetic. Live your life. If you would just do those things, you will see. Because everybody who have wronged you, everybody who has slandered you, everybody who has told lies, they're watching. Oh yeah, they're watching you. See, they'll never admit that they're watching you. They don't want nobody to know that they admire you. They don't want nobody to know that you inspire them. Because you, the nobody who God turned into a somebody, yeah, they don't want to admit that. They want you to be a nobody. They didn't want you to be in a rightful position. They did not want you to get ahead. They didn't want you to be better than them. They didn't want you to be in the position that God had put you in the position. They were mad at you for something you were destined for. They were mad because they couldn't take your destiny. They couldn't take your gifts. They couldn't be you. No matter how much they tried to go make themselves look like you, no matter how much they tried to talk like you, no matter how much they tried to walk like you, no matter how much they tried to dress like you, they couldn't be you. And because they couldn't be you, they became an ugly bird. An ugly and an angry bird. Because they couldn't be you. Go tell your sister they only the 4th and 5th graders take pictures today. They couldn't be you. They couldn't allow yourself. They couldn't allow their self to be their true, authentic self. So they tried to mock and mimic everything that you do, but they just couldn't get it. Your shoes was not made for them. Your shoes was made for you, and that's why they fit so perfect on your feet. Your destiny and your calling was for you. That's why when they tried to do it, they could not do it because they didn't have the original. And you are a original. They didn't have you. So that's why you couldn't do it. That's why they couldn't do it. That's why they couldn't complete the stuff, even though they were trying to do it. They couldn't do it because they was not you. Because you are the original, and they needed you. You heard me? They needed your knowledge. They needed your power. They needed your skills. You heard me? They needed your opinion, your intake on things. And okay, well tell her. Okay, well tell her that's fine. Well, just put it on. That's on her. They better not call me. Okay. They needed you. They needed your gifts. They needed your power. They needed all these things for you. They needed your ideas because they couldn't produce. They couldn't do any of these things. So they tried to hinder you only to awaken the monster inside of you. So now they watching. Now they intrigued on what you have to say. You understand what I'm saying? Now they listening in with a close ear. You heard me? They got their ear to the computer. They got their headphones in. They got their beats in. They got their iPads in. They got all this in so that they can hear what you have to say. They interested in what you having to say because them trying to mimic you, them trying to be like you, it ain't get them nowhere. It couldn't happen. It ain't do nothing for them. You looking for the spray, mama? It's right here. They didn't, it couldn't do nothing for them. It's cool outside too, so don't make your hair too curly. They couldn't do it. Excuse me, y'all. That's my babies. We getting ready for school. They couldn't do all these things that you could do. You heard me? They wasn't getting up early enough to keep up with you. They couldn't keep up with you. So now they gotta sit back and they gotta watch you. They gotta watch the monster. And they scared. You heard me? They trembling in their boots about the monster that's out of you right now because they don't know how to take you. They don't know how to take it. You switching up your lingo too much. They don't know which way you gonna go. They don't know how you gonna be this day. They don't know how you gonna be that day. But they know you coming with some power behind you. They know you coming with some power. All because they try to set you back. And then they made the monster come out for this comeback. And they not happy. Oh no, they're not happy. They don't, because they don't know. They don't know how you gonna come. They don't know what you gonna say. They don't know how you gonna move. They don't know none of these things. But like I said, your setback was just for your comeback. It was for your comeback. It really was. And you thank everybody who tried to set you back. Because your comeback created a monster inside of you. And the monster is here. The monster has took his rightful place. You're not letting nothing or nobody get over you. You're using your voice. Either your inner voice or your outer voice. Your inside voice or your outside voice. You're using them. Whichever voice you choose to use at that present moment. You're using it because the monster is awoken. The monster is speaking the truth and standing in the truth. The monster is not being quiet. The monster is opening their mouth. You can't shut me up. You can't tell me no anything because the monster is loose. This is what you wanted. Y'all did all them setbacks only for my comeback. You heard me? And that's what you got to tell yourself. These people set you back for your comeback. Be grateful for your comeback. Well, it's your girl Bree signing out. Peace.